running a Ford Escort, Group 2, Class 7.
The organising of an international rally is a tough, responsible and tedious task. There are so many aspects to be nailed down firmly and watertight. James Cullen and Paul Taylor are responsible for the 1983 Donegal International with an operating budget of 30,000 with local sponsorship from the Donegal Oil Company and Irish Shell and a superb lineup of crews and cars considering the difficult times we live in. But Donegal's rally has a reputation to live up to since it was started in 1972 by Austin Fraser, this man.
It's way back in the early 70s that the rally started, and it proved so successful with the competitors and the whole community generally that it just grew and grew from year to year. And starting from a one-day event, it's now a three-day international, and a very good entry and most enjoyable event. It's one of the events that everybody looks forward to doing.
This time there is close on £2 million's worth of equipment charged to battle for the £7,000 prize money. And firstly, all of it was satisfied a scrutineer.
The standard of car on this rally?
Exceptionally high. We've been watching it very carefully over this last 5 or 6 years, as you possibly know, Mike, and we've been delighted with the turnout. The safety standards were very high. Excellent stuff, excellent. Safety is the most important factor of our sport, keeping people safe in the car, keeping the spectators safe. The cars are very, very closely inspected.
So there are drivers with cars and there are tyres to be chosen.
I just have a quick word with you. It's obvious that you're spending a lot of time getting your tyres right.
Yeah, it's the thing. We want to make sure that we have all the right compounds, all the right tyres for the events. So
do you think it's going to be fine?
I don't know. I'd say it'll be fine and dull. We hope it will be anyway.
Now, would that be better than having a very, very warm and sunny?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, number 2C, that's the highest you've ever been seated in an international rally.
That's right, yeah.
How are you going to play it?
We take it easy, see what way we're going, and wait till the final day and see what the story is then.
From the word go, we usually try pretty hard, you know, rather than some people maybe try and pace themselves. We usually try and, if we go the first stage, it's usually the same way as we go the rest of the rally, you know.
It takes all kinds to make up the entry, the chargers, the careful ones, and those who have been through the hoop of experience in a rally car.
Now you're back in rallying after a layoff for some time. Tell us about your layoff.
Well, we done the Ulster last year and we had a bad accident on stage 9. We crashed into a bridge and myself and Brian here ended up in hospital. I had 7 fractured ribs and was off for quite some time. So we've completely rebuilt the car again with Rodney Boris and we're back here to Donegal. It's the only sport that I really enjoy doing and there's great sportsmanship in it, no matter where you go. And everybody works to help one another and it's a great sport.
Well, I'm celebrating my 21st year in motorsport this year. I actually started in Dunboyne way back in the 60s.
Right, that would have been racing against fellas like John Watson and Brian Cullen and fellas like that.
Yes.
But you switched to rallying. How different is rallying to racing?
Completely different. It's much more of a challenge, I find, and I get much more enjoyment now out of rallying.
Richie's a very balanced fella himself, you know. He knows what he's doing all the time. He knows he can pace himself, you know, which he's shown now through the years, you know, that he doesn't do anything wild, you know, keeps on going.
What about the danger of it for yourself, for instance? Have you thought of that?
I don't think there's any danger in rallying, really, Michael. I think the danger in rallying really is people, spectators following it. You know, fellas that we call cowboys too. You know, they're more dangerous, really, I think, to the public and competitors alike. You know, they don't do anything good for the sport.
But it's the sporting aspect which brings us here to Letterkenny.
Opel Manta 400. This car has never been rallied in Ireland before, and isn't it beautiful? Bertie, What a lovely motor car.
So they're ready for the off. 3 days and 34 stages, and a top seed who's in strange territory.
No, we've never started number one from an international rally. I don't know whether it'll make any difference or not, but it's nice to be running number one.
Now, what sort of tactics are you going to take on from the start?
Well, we've got a brand new car that hasn't been on a special stage yet, so I think we've got to go slowly at the beginning and just check that everything's working on the car, and you know, the car is handling properly and braking properly, so we don't intend to do anything too rash just to start with.
There are many anxious eyes watching as Bertie wheels the Opel off the start ramp.
And away he goes, Bertie Fisher and Austin McHale, West Norway,
This is the main Northern Ireland Challenge.
Number 2 away, Austin McHale.
Austin McHale, the Vauxhall driver, will be striving to make it a Dublin victory, while at number 4 comes Phil Collins from Pontrillas, Wales, the leading overseas entry with his Opel Manta. And so at 30-second intervals they'll leave Letterkenny. Shining motor cars, the pensive drivers and co-drivers, and those many hours of preparation. And there's a local challenge in Vincent Bonner. There are still many more to leave the ramp, 140 in all, like Ian Corkhill from the Isle of Man in his Ford Escort. It'll be the fastest crew on aggregate over the 34 closed road stages, plus road penalties, which will be the winners on Sunday evening. They head first to Newmills and then Achnagadi, where we find Fisher's Manta at speed. Austin McHale is next. He's already the rally leader by 2 seconds. Phil Collins is third, down 10 seconds on McHale. Bertie Fisher is second. So on the go, and after 5 fast stages, they are back in Letterkenny for service. Vincent Bonner and Richie Healy have pushed Phil Collins down the leaderboard. Hugh O'Brien and Ken Irwin are out, and Bertie Fisher has Sidney Meek readjust the brake balance on his Opel Manta, while co-driver Austin Fraser sums up a very tense situation.
It's very, very close. From what I can make out, Austin and McHale and ourselves are having a fairly close dash. We took 1 second off Austin on one stage, and he has taken a few seconds off us on each of the others. So starting into the last stage, there was a difference of 8 seconds between us. Austin was in front, but he was apparently in gearbox trouble at the start of the last stage. The car was stuck in one gear, and he didn't seem to be able to get it released. And we noticed he didn't come in behind us at the last control, so we're not sure what's happening.
Close by, Austin McHale is in real trouble. He's lost the lead, and he now has a huge test for his service crew to change a jammed gearbox within a very short period of time. If they fail, the rat cool driver will be on his way home.
Knock that thing out of gear, let the handbrake off or something, like turn the prop shaft.
I have it, it's all right.
Austin, I want to turn the prop shaft. You can let the handbrake off.
Stuck in first gear, and then halfway went through the last stage, the last 6 miles in first gear, and then front wheel went flat halfway through it as well.
Well, now that's really hard luck because you're actually leading the rally at the time, you know?
I think we've been fast on the first 4 stages. I think we've been fast on the first 4 stages.
Now, you don't know how much time you've lost altogether, do you?
Approximately 5 minutes.
So out goes the offending part, in goes a new set of gears. So far, they are unturned.
Michael Leaf is in charge of the operation, so it's up to him to get the other mechanics to coordinate the whole operation now. We've been under this pressure before. Earlier this year in the Mintex Rally in England, we had a similar situation arose, and they managed to change the gearbox in 15 minutes.
No, but you weren't leading that time. You were actually leading the rally when you ran into this problem.
That's true, but it's very early in the rally yet, so we've got 2 more days to go. You know, there's plenty of stage miles left yet.
Now, when you get back into the car with Austin, how are you going to tell him to do it? Are you going to tell him to cool it or have a go?
Well, we were going flat out from the word go. That's why we're leading the rally. So we've got a lot more work to do. So we won't go absolutely at 11 tenths, but 10 tenths.
Now Vincent Bonner is second. Was it expected?
Oh, no, never. I don't think there's any real reason for it. You know, we were going as quick last year, but, you know, we just didn't seem to get it together the same as we can get it together this year, you know. The stages, again, you know, are very bumpy. Maybe the boys are lifting more for that or not, I don't know.
What is the gap between yourself and Bertie, do you know?
Something over half a minute, I think.
Right.
I think so, yeah.
And what's the gap between you and the third man?
Suppose something similar, I think.
So now, how are you going to play from here on in?
Well, just keep going at the pace we're going at anyway to see what happens.
Now, Bertie, I understand, has had problems with his brakes. He's probably going to be going quicker. Austin has lost 5 minutes.
Right, well, again, you know, it's last July since I sat in the car before, you know, and I'm only getting used to the car again, you know. So, probably, I don't know, might be able to go a bit quicker again now this time, I don't know.
Oh, well, that's what it's all about. Like, Vincent's a good driver, and he's got a very good car there, and he's obviously very capable, but we'll try and stay in front of him, you know.
So after 8 excellent stages in brilliant weather, day 1 ends with Fisher, Bonner and Richie Healy being the top 3. Phil Collins is 4th, making it 2 each for Opel and Ford. Austin McHale is 17th overall, having charged back from 41st. Saturday, day 2, and the stages are scheduled as far north as Fanad Head. It's a day of searing heat when we will see vast brooding mountains, green hills, flower-clad glensides, and again, meet along the way more friendly Donegal folk, the salt of a very rich earth. This is a cruise sport, a dangerous pastime. Phil Collins and co-driver Stuart Harold have had a lucky escape. There happily was nothing more than injured pride and costly repairs. The Donegal scenery had collected its first victim of the day, and still the rally roars by, once the crew were seen to be safe. But what a lucky escape.
We had to lift her back on here.
It was broadside across the road.
What did you do when I went across the road?
We had to lift it back over this way. Like. It was just lying across the road like that.
So on goes the action. Ramelton, Milford, Kindrum, Fanad and Knockalla Mountain all have a visit from the drivers. John Price from Hereford in his Renault Turbo is now the best overseas driver in 8th. Fisher leads Bonner by 91 seconds and the brilliant McHale is picking up places by the mile.
Well, at the moment we're still leading. We stretched out a few seconds on second and third cars this morning, and we're just trying to drive as quick as we have to, really.
You know, the crowd gets you going, and you know, stages are familiar, there's no doubt about that, you know. But as far as catching Bertie Fisher is on, there's no way, just no way. I mean, you have to have a bit of respect for the man. He was second in the circuit, and he's driving a very, very good car. You know, and there's just no way. We're getting within 3 and 4 seconds of him, but that's it.
It's good fun for you, though, is it?
Well, I'm enjoying it. I am enjoying it. There's no two ways about that.
Well, the second last stage I spun and I dropped 20 seconds to Vincent Bonner. And up here in Donegal, I feel you can't afford to drop 20 seconds just like that. Okay, well, but can you hold on to third place? Well, Austin McHale is right in 4th place now, and I expect Austin's going very quick today, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's up to 3rd place again this evening, unless I can do something about it.
Back up to 4th. We're going fairly well. We've had no problems today. We dropped so much time yesterday. We're actually back to 41st. So we're up to 17th last night, and after the first 4 this morning, we're back up to 4th. So if we keep going the way we are, we probably hope to get up another car or two anyway.
Now, second is not outside the bounds of possibility, is it?
No, well, it's second we're going for at the moment, and if Bertie has any problems with that, well, we might get first eventually.
5, 4, 3.
Stage 15 at Kindrum Lake, and Bertie Fisher from Ballinamallard, County Tyrone, still leads. Vincent Bonner from the Sweet Dunlow is chasing him hard in the Ford Escort. And what a sensational drive by McHale. He is now 4th and climbing. John Price in the Turbo is good to watch, although he's soon to retire. But no one is more spectacular than Robert Moffat from Monaghan. He is now 6th overall. John Connor from Downings in Chevette number 20 is 5th, another local doing very well for himself. And now it's Knockalla overlooking Lough Swilly and Ballymastocker Bay. Golden Sand, Silver Sea, Mountain Grand, Woodland 3. But Vincent Bonner is first through. Fisher has argued with the scenery back the road. He has lost valuable time. Vincent Bonner, the haulage contractor from Dunlow, now leads. Austin McHale is 2nd, Richie Healy's 3rd, and John Connor's 4th. On the famous mountain climb, some took it fast and smooth, others overcooked the cake a little. But it's amazing where help can be found in a time of need. A little push still means a lot in the world of rally driving. In 8th place, 4.5 minutes late, comes Bertie Fisher, with the Manta damaged front and rear.
Well, the car has been built by Sidney Meek and his boys in Dungannon. It basically started with a bare body shell, and we have taken a lot of the parts from the Ascona. We've built it up into what it is now. It's about 270 brake horsepower with this latest 3 engine that we've got now for the Group B Manta.
Those eager horses broke loose on Fanad and caused much damage to the beautiful new Opel Manta. Bertie retired shortly afterwards when repairs proved fruitless. It was now Bonner, McHale and Healy in that order.
We're about 40 seconds ahead of Austin McHale, and it's coming very hard, but we're trying to stay out of the way.
It is coming very hard?
Oh yes, yeah. So, you know, the car's handling beautiful now and everything else, so see what happens tomorrow.
Yeah, well, now you're missing the company of Bertie Fisher.
Yeah, as far as I know, he's back in 8th place at the moment, you know. So these things happen, that's rallying.
Well, I reckon Austin McHale has now passed me, and I'm back to 3rd position. I'm in 3rd position, Austin is 2nd at the moment. It all depends on how Bertie Fisher is.
Enjoying yourself?
I am. Very tired, but hard day.
Was that explain to us, how hard a day was that?
Well, it's very tiring trying to keep concentration for that amount of time since 9 o'clock this morning.
But you've been at it 21 years. You think you'll be used to it by now?
I don't think I'll ever be used to it.
Well, it's the first time I've been up here. It's the first time the car's really stuck it.
Yeah.
So I must be thankful to my mechanics for that.
Now tell me, what do you normally do for a living? I mean, you know,
Oh, I do various things. I'm a contractor and a publican. That's the main two.
How did you get hooked on this game?
I was always kind of mad for motorsport, you know. So I eventually bought a car. It's like all bad habits, it sticks to you.
Yeah, we've gone fairly well today. Like, we've taken a good lot of time back off Richie, and we've a good lot of time back off Vincent. But I suppose their cars, like, they're a 5-year-old spec car now. This car is a 3-year-old spec, and that does make a difference. You know, they're driving fairly old cars. Like, the Escorts probably are gone out of date by now.
Then came the fabulous town stage in Ramelton, with Vincent Bonner flying low. Fast, the Sir Bolton TR7 may be, but look at Robert Moffat's Escort. I love them, oh I love them, and they hold my heart in thrall. The heat-clad hills, the cloud-capped hills, the hills of Donegal. By stage 26, Glen Village on Sunday, it's just a question by how much and how soon will Austin McHale again lead, even though Vincent Bonner is putting up a superb fight. Atlantic Drive for the third time, and with just 3 stages to go, Bonner is ready to accept defeat. Starting the stage at Downings, he was 9 seconds behind Austin McHale's Vauxhall Chevette. But second is his for the taking. And then, surprise and amazement, it's Richie Healy next off the stage. Where's the unfortunate McHale? And here he comes with the Chevette, staggering with no fewer than 3 punctures. What cruel luck. He's again lost his precious lead in a strange and undeserved way.
About 4 miles back. Okay, so how much time did you lose, do you reckon?
About 40 seconds.
Okay, so you've lost the lead again. At the front. How do you have spare? Front. No, at the front. Front. Right, spare like.
Austin has now little hope of winning. Second is no consolation to a real competitor like the driver from Radcool. But back in Letterkenny, thousands are ready to greet their heroes, Vincent Bonner and Seamus McGettigan. Richie Healy takes a much satisfying third. John Connor from Downings is fourth. And Austin McHale is second and still trying. And so is Robert Moffat, who is a brilliant fifth overall. And so the happy man from Dunlow has his greatest hour. He collects £1,200 of the Donegal Oil Company money with his escort. He's been well served by Seamus McGettigan, his co-driver, and he's now a hero in Donegal. Was it all a well-laid plan to snatch the oilman's money?
No way. I never figured, even from the word go, that anything like this could happen. No way.
How long have you been at the game?
This is about, I think, the 13th year. 13 times lucky.
Here you are. But you had a great drive.
Well, I can't complain. The car went beautifully. And, I hadn't a hitch from the word go. Every stage, just one after the other, they were all the same. We hadn't a problem with the car. Certainly make me a fantastic job of the car.
But you had some superb competition as well. I think you'd like to pay tribute to the...
Oh, definitely. I mean, Austin McHale put on some performance. He was the star of the rally. He's been tortured with bad luck all the time, and this time again it struck on Atlantic Drive. And I want to pay tribute to Austin McHale for putting up such a fine display of driving. Well, he definitely was a mighty man.
And I pay before and I'd roll my Mary in my arms in the town of Sweet.